Hey ratbags, it's Jade with a bit of a speculation video for sure, so take everything I'm about to say with a dose of salt. You may have seen the rumour recently that a bunch of Xbox games could be coming to PlayStation in the future. This has been going on for the last 2 days and it's just been announced by Phil Spencer that they're going to address it later on next week. For listening, we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for next week where we look forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox. Stay tuned. So this has been something that's been mooted for a while. Ever since the takeover of Activision Blizzard, Xbox do need to start coughing up even more money to the Microsoft division, even though it's one of their most popular services that Microsoft have. Games Pass has fueled that, but they can't get Games Pass on other platforms like PlayStation and Switch. The new Indiana Jones is meant to be coming to Xbox as an exclusive, but that looks like that might actually be PlayStation, and this is one of the games that's been heavily mooted, and especially Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush. Both have had individual leaks in the last few weeks, stating that these games would be coming to PlayStation in the future. So where does Grounded fit into all of this? Yes, Grounded, the game that made this channel what it was. 21 million views after pretty much moving it from my main survival channel to here. Absolutely love Grounded, think it's one of the best games going. And while I've been busy playing Power World like most people, Grounded is always still going to be Bay once we've got news or some new content. Now Grounded is getting towards the end of its life. The next update 1.4 I am absolutely convinced could be one of its last major ones. I'm eagerly excited for what happens after with maybe some playground updates. And then in the future, Grounded 2, the animated series, and possibly other games in the Grounded universe, as was kind of hinted at by some interviews a little while ago. But I have been campaigning for Grounded to come to other platforms for a while. I always thought it'd be amazing on Switch, but PlayStation, if it went on PlayStation, Grounded would maybe start getting the recognition it deserves. Anyway, there's a few rumours going around, and there's a few articles from some of these sites kind of listing or utilising Grounded as an image. And these are the games that could be coming to PlayStation. Now, consideration only, and again, like I said, take all this with a pinch of salt. There you go, Sea of Thieves is there, Hi-Fi Rush, Starfield, Indiana Jones, Doom Year Zero, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Halo Infinite, Halo MCC, Pentiment, Gears of War series, and Hellblade 2. And you'll also notice that Grounded is there as well. Now, some of these do seem a little bit out there. And I'm not here to talk about the console wars or any of that stuff. I don't care if Xbox bring these games to PlayStation. I think it's a great idea. Sure, it might mean you don't need to actually own an Xbox in future if lots of these games can be coming. But I don't think Xbox is going to be releasing all their games. It does look like they're probably going to keep their day one exclusive, first party games as part of Game Pass. But some of these games make sense. Indiana Jones is a movie property, basically. The last 2 movies that have come out have been pretty bad and haven't actually generated that much revenue. So it kind of makes sense that that would eventually arrive on PlayStation, and it's supposedly going to arrive 6 months after the release on Xbox. Starfield was Bethesda's most popular title. It sold millions upon millions, 6 million in the first week. But to some, it wasn't maybe as big as we'd hoped or thought, and people did maybe expect it to even do better than that. And Sea of Thieves is like in its 11th season now. It's been going for a number of years. If you're an Xbox fan, the chances are you've probably tried Sea of Thieves. If you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. What way to open up a multiplayer game by getting millions of PlayStation players to jump on in. And you might wonder why Pentiment and Grounded are there, but it looks like they've got basically a selection of titles from each or some of their major studios. Obsidian obviously made Pentiment and Grounded. Pentiment's a cool little game. But again, probably didn't sell amazingly well because it was an offbeat game. It was a different type of game. Quite a good one. My wife played it quite extensively, but nevertheless, it wasn't something that was going to sell millions upon millions. Grounded, however, has had 15 million players play it across Xbox and Steam. It sold nearly 2 million copies on Steam from the spied data that I could see, and I'm sure it sold close to that actual full copies on Xbox as well, even though it's been on Games Pass. And I could definitely see this coming to other platforms. Now, I did make this kind of video a good maybe half a year ago, talking about the idea it might come to Switch. That was after one executive from Microsoft pretty much said they'd like to see more of Xbox games on other platforms, and they were talking a lot about the Activision titles at the time. But I think it'd be amazing. Maybe not the Switch now though, but certainly if it comes to PlayStation, that would be so cool. Millions of players, and as a YouTuber that's covered Grounded extensively, I would get a nice shot in the arm in terms of views. Grounded has gone a bit quiet. As we wait for the next update, we're expecting 1.4 to maybe hit in May or June. It could come a bit earlier, but based on the previous update, how long that took, and the words from the devs, that it would probably take around the same amount of time, hence why I have been just covering more games. Now literally every survival game is down on players according to Steam charts because of the 19 million people that have been playing Palworld. Just remember, of course, Steam's the worst way to count Grounded players because most people do play Grounded on their Xbox. I've been with Grounded since the very start. In fact, I covered it the year before it was released on my other channel, JADE PG. I did a whole bunch of videos with its release and early access for pretty much the first year and a half. Then I created a second channel because I was tired of the algorithm burying some of my videos. And I wanted to make this one more dedicated, JPG crafted, to younger survival games and more chill experiences. So Grounded has done really well for me. I went from having something like 3 million, 4 million views of Grounded on the main channel to overall now on both having 21 million views. I've done hundreds and hundreds of videos on Grounded. It must be coming up to probably like 1,000. I've kind of done everything you can do in Grounded. From 100 days videos to base building location videos, every guide, absolutely every update I've been there for. So maybe you guys can understand why eventually, if there's no one actually watching videos sometimes, no one's really playing Grounded, then I'm going to be covering other games. And so I've been doing a bit of Palworld. Some of the videos taken off, yeah, some are a little bit hit and miss. It's just really busy, but it has given me a good month. Likewise, Lego Fortnite, and in the future, Core Keepers 1.0 release, and Smallland, which is coming out in the next 2 weeks. Anyway, I'm just mentioning this because yes, despite me covering other games, the minute Grounded gets any kind of real news or an update, I will always return with proper content. There's still a few things that I would like to maybe do with Grounded. To be fair, I've not done a WoW mode playthrough, but having tried a little bit with my friend Raz recently, it made me and reminded me how unenjoyable that mode is to me. Other than that, there's just not much I haven't done. I've completed it multiple times, I've done everything within 100 days, but I'll tell you what, if it came to PlayStation, it would give me an opportunity to do all brand new guides. I've tried keeping up sometimes, but for sure some of my starter guides and beginner guides are a little bit outdated now. So what perfect time for me to revisit Grounded and get back into it in a big way if there is indeed a PlayStation launch. I think 1.4 would end up coming out before then. I don't think we're going to see an announcement that yes, all these games are going to be appearing on PlayStation in like 2 weeks, but I definitely think it's on the cards. So I'm hoping that Grounded is one of them games. Like I said, there's no guarantee. It is still just rumour at the moment, and I guess we'll find out next week a little bit more. But more and more, these things are seemingly being confirmed by lots of different sources now. Grounded is amazing. I rate it as one of the best games going. But when other people who don't have an Xbox talk about their favourite survival games, no one ever really mentions it. It's not held in the same regard as other games, even though they're really cranky and janky, like Ark, because it does suffer only being on one platform. Some people don't even realise it's actually a really great survival game. They might think it's just a kid's game, even though it's got some of the best survival mechanics I've seen in a while, but also married together with RPG. And lastly, Grounded is a franchise now. That's something else the devs did confirm in interviews. They have got big plans for Grounded. If Microsoft are going to be launching games on PlayStation, they probably want to have a good selection so they can get people invested. So if Grounded 2 ever does get made, then a lot of PlayStation fans will be thinking, hey, I want to try this out. Can I go and play it? No, you can't. Not unless you buy an Xbox and play it in game preview, where it might be for the next 6 months, etc. before its actual 1.0 release, or another year or 2 years, or however long it might be. And do believe me, Grounded 2 will be a thing in the future. That's why that might be a cert for coming to PlayStation. As I said, we'll find out soon enough. Until then, hopefully you can enjoy a little bit of Palworld content, but probably mostly Smallland's console launch. And I'll be back as soon as we do get any definitive info about Grounded. I'm still looking up the Easter egg that Adam Brennicky has been teasing, yet to find anything decent.